Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast, where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, and anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and guys, this is episode 115. It is fucking crazy. And hey, listen, if you were cruising around the internet and we're looking at some weird donkey porn, you accidentally came across my movie podcast, and you were not a movie fan, well, maybe I can convince you to be one. Guys, this is a movie podcast, first and foremost, and so not a donkey porn podcast. I'm sorry to disappoint you. And so what we do here is we go over some movie news, some trailers, and I will have my review of a movie or movies, and then, of course, the box office results for the weekend. And the movie in question, the movie suspect today, is The Finest Hours, the new Disney film about the U.S. Coast Guard rescue mission done in the 50s. So with that being said, let's get this thing started. It's going to be, I don't know how short it's going to be, but it might be a shorter episode than usual. So, yay. Let's get some movie news out of the way. The first piece of news is that the Producer Guild associations happened throughout the week. And you guys hear that? And there goes an airplane. Guys live near an airport. It's fun stuff when I record. So the Producer Guild's awards were this week. And usually what wins Best Picture there is kind of the front runner for the Oscars. But here's the catch. The winner of the PGAs was The Big Short. What? Okay, so now we're looking at The Revenant winning the Golden Globe. We're looking at The Martian winning Best Comedy because, it was the biggest yuck fest of the entire fucking year. And then we have The Big Short winning the PGA. And we'll talk about the SAG Awards in just a minute, but guys, This Oscars show for 2015 is got to be the most wild card awards show I've ever seen in my life. I honestly don't know what's going to win now. Now, listen, you guys have heard me, clamor about this movie for a long time, but my favorite movie last year and my pick for the winner for Best Picture is The Revenant. I absolutely think that should win, but knowing the Academy, I don't know if it will. But now that the PGAs chose The Big Short, it just kind of throws a wrench in everything. Excuse me, because I honestly thought that the front runner was Spotlight, then The Revenant, or hell, even The Martian, and then now we have The Big Short kind of thrown in there. So, guys, it seems like this Oscar show is a free-for-all. It's anyone's game, and anyone can come and snatch up and take it. I don't know. But it's very interesting that the Producers Guild, which, producers on films, they're the ones that make movies. They're the ones that, start everything. They're the ones that hire all these people to execute this project. It's just fascinating that they chose that one. And to this day, it still boggles my mind that the director of Anchorman and Step Brothers has an Oscar-nominated movie under his belt where he was nominated for director and Best Picture. What the fuck? What is this world coming to? So, yeah, good job for The Big Short, but, man, that just throws a wrench in everything, and I honestly don't know now. It's going to be a crazy award show, that's for damn sure. So, the next piece of news is, I don't know the logistics behind this deal, but this did happen. Ghost in the Shell, which is based off of anime, and there was a movie that came out in, what was it, the 80s or early 90s? I forgot the year, but Ghost in the Shell is an anime property, and so Disney was going to make it with Scarlett Johansson in the lead, and no, Disney was not going to put their name on this. I'm assuming it would be under Touchstone or something, one of their more adult companies. So the story is that Ghost in the Shell has moved from Disney to Paramount. Now, I don't know what that entails. Maybe Paramount got a better deal out of it. I don't know, by getting this, and I don't really know. I honestly don't know why they would do this, but there has to be a good reason why Disney would just give up a property because they're one of the biggest studios in the business right now. Why the hell would you give up anything? But when I heard about this deal, I thought to myself one thing. It seems like to me with Paramount, they could push the buttons on this one a little bit further than Disney would have. Now, even though it would have been under Disney's other, company houses, like a Touchstone or something, so they could have like rated R, but in all reality, they probably wouldn't have, just because, to this day, I think the hardest R movie Disney has ever made under Touchstone was Pulp Fiction. I just don't think that Disney's in the game right now to do that. So with Paramount, it seems like to me they could probably adapt this property very, very, very well. Because I haven't seen the movie, the original Ghost in the Shell, nor have I. Is it comic book or graphic novel? I forgot. But I haven't read anything on it. I haven't watched the original movie. But I've seen clips and I've seen the plot synopsis and stuff, and it's a dark movie. Like, this kind of goes there. It goes into those dark places, and I think it going from Disney to Paramount, at least, like I said, I don't know the logistics of the deal, but at least it'll help in the ratings wise. I think Paramount has the opportunity to kind of just go balls to the wall, because with Scarlett Johansson starring, it can be rated R. Because look at Lucy. I didn't see Lucy, but I heard it was terrible. That movie was rated R, and it made a shit ton of money. Scarlett Johansson's a pulling name when it comes to movie-going audiences. So I think whether Ghost in the Shell is PG-13 or R, I still think it's going to make a shit ton of money. But I think moving it to Paramount, that's the only thing I can think of that's kind of a positive, that they could push the envelope a little further and make it, I guess, a little more true to the source material, even though I haven't seen or read anything. But I've seen clips. I know what the premise is. It's bonkers. So, yeah, but I don't know what the logistics of the deal is. So if Disney gave up that, what would they get in return? What did Paramount give to them? Or were they sharing box? I don't know what they're doing. But anyways, that is happening in the world of movie news. But the movie's still going to happen. It's just moving studios. But it seems like to me the biggest positive I can take out of this is that it's going to kind of up itself in the ratings game if another studio has it. So that's the only thing I was pointing at. So the last piece of news is that the SAG Awards were last night at the time of this recording. So it was Saturday night on the 30th. So I'm going to pull up the list here of the winners. And now I'm just going to do movies. I'm not going to do television because it's a movie podcast. Outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture. Spotlight was the winner out of Trumbo, Straight Outta Compton, The Big Short, Beast of No Nation, and Spotlight. To be honest, like, if Big Short won the Producers Guild and stuff, like, I know Producer Guild and Screen Actor Guild are completely separate things, but it's just fascinating that the Producers Guild would choose The Big Short as their best picture winner, and then for the Screen Actor Guild, like, this is essentially their best picture award for the show, and it's Spotlight. So out of that group, though, as much as I didn't really care, like, okay, let me choose my words wisely. I liked Spotlight a lot. I didn't put it in my top 10, but I think it was a really well-crafted movie, and it was executed very, very well. I would actually put this as the winner in this category, even though it wasn't my favorite out of the 5. If I wanted to be like kind of outrageous and kind of do something different, I would actually consider Straight Outta Compton as well, but that had no chance. Because, like I said, Spotlight and The Big Short are having so much momentum right now. That's just the way it's going to go. So, yeah, I'm actually okay with that. You know, I didn't really care for Spotlight, as much as most people. For outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role, the nominees were Bryan Cranston for Trumbo, Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, Johnny Depp for Black Mass, and Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant. Ladies and gentlemen, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to win his Oscar this year. Because he won the SAG award. Usually, if you win the SAG, you are going to win the Oscar. That's just the way it goes. Because the Screen Actor Guild, you are nominated by your peers. In the Oscars, when you're in that category, you are nominated by your peers. So that's just the way award shows have worked. If you can kind of pinpoint certain award shows, and whoever's the winner is most likely going to win the Oscar. The SAG awards are pretty much the deciding factor for the Oscars in terms of the acting categories. Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant. I said this once and I'll say it again. I saw The Revenant in early December, like the first week in December. And I said when I walked out, I still stand by it. The Revenant's going to have 3 Oscars locked down. Lubetsky's going to get cinematography. Leonardo DiCaprio is going to get his first Oscar. Well, and Lubezki would get his third one in a row. And Alejandro Inarritu would get his second one in a row. So I still stand by it, but that's great for Leo. Ladies and gentlemen, this is his year. I might just like shed a tear of joy. When he goes up there and accepts his Oscar, everyone's going to be standing up, giving him a standing ovation. We're just going to be like, fuck yeah, Leo. Yes. Oh. Okay, I need to calm down. All right. So outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. We have Sarah Silverman for I Smile Back, Helen Mirren for The Woman in Gold, Saoirse Ronan. Did I just say Saoirse? That sounds like a Power Rangers villain. Saoirse, come over here. What the fuck is this? Okay, Saoirse Ronan. I can you might as well just forget about it. I'm not. That's the last time I'm pronouncing that. For Brooklyn, Kate Blanchett for Carol, and Brie Larson for Room. The winner was Brie Larson. She's been the front runner for all the award shows, and she's been my pick personally. She's been on my list for actresses, like up and coming actresses, for a very long time. Like, not only is she outstandingly gorgeous, my word. If I could like date Brie Larson, my life would be complete. But I live in reality, and I got to move on. But she's super talented. Have you guys ever seen Short Term 12? Like, watch that movie, and you will realize that Brie Larson is here to stay, and she's only going to get better from here. And she is my age. Like, I'm 26. I think she's 26 as well, or like 25 or 27. She's around my age, and she's about to win her Oscar. Jennifer Lawrence is my age as well, and she just won her Oscar. So it's really interesting how we're seeing a bunch of younger actresses in their 20s like be the front runners for Oscars every year for acting. That's awesome. For my second pick, if I didn't have to pick Brie Larson, I'd probably do Kate Blanchett. Well, that sounded a little sexual. I would do her, but I would pick her as my second option because, like I said, for my review of Carol, I didn't really care for the relationship at all. I didn't really get into it emotionally, but in terms of like a film, technically, shooting, production design, acting, I think it's a perfect film. I do. It's just one of those like unique films that's just like it has really no flaws. It just lies in the story and like the emotional pull for the relationship for me. But all right, so next one is outstanding. Now this is the most fascinating category ever. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a supporting role. The nominees were Christian Bale for The Big Short, Jacob Tremblay for Room, Michael Shannon for 99 Homes, Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, and Idris Elba for Beast of No Nation. Now, you know how I just said whoever wins the SAG usually wins the Oscar? That ain't the case for this one. You want to know why? Because the winner of the SAG for supporting actor role was Idris Elba. Motherfucker ain't even nominated for an Oscar. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think someone put this on Facebook last night. Jackson did, and I looked it up, and I think he was right. This is the first time ever that someone has won a SAG award and is not nominated for an Oscar, like in the same year. Like, that's crazy. Listen, I like Beast of No Nation a lot. I think it's a very disturbing movie. I think it's a very powerful movie, and Idris Elba kills it in his role as playing a dick, basically. I would, I don't know, for him, like in this category right here, it's between him and Jacob Tremblay, but I might have given the edge to Idris Elba just because he was just that powerful, even though I didn't really care for the movie as much as, other movies on the list. But yeah, the winner for the Oscars is going to be Sylvester Stallone. But I think it's funny that Sylvester Stallone was not nominated for a SAG, but he was nominated for an Oscar. Idris Elba was nominated for a SAG, but not nominated for an Oscar, and he wins the SAG. Like, it blows my mind. But yeah, so congratulations, Mr. Elba. The next one is performance by a female actor in a supporting role. The nominees were Rachel McAdams for Spotlight, Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs, Helen Mirren for Trumbo, Rooney Mara for Carol, Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl. And I must say right now, all these women span a bunch of different age groups. I'm be a little perverted right now. I get 5 seconds. I would do all 5 of them. They are all like some of the hottest women in Hollywood and super talented as well. So I'm sorry I had to go a little pervy on you, but I'm just looking at the list and I'm just like, these are all gorgeous women. Even Helen Mirren. I like me some cougars and some older women. Little known fact about me. So the winner is Alicia Vikander for the Danish Girl. Now, I have not seen the Danish Girl yet, so I don't know about her performance, and I haven't seen Trumbo either, but out of the three I have seen, my pick has always been for Kate Winslet. But this is fascinating now because, like I said, usually whoever wins the SAG traditionally wins the Oscar. Kate Winslet's been on a roll, and this is the first time she's been kind of dethroned by Alicia Vikander. I wouldn't be surprised now if Alicia Vikander walked away with the Oscar. And you know what's really funny about the Danish Girl is that Alicia is getting more recognition for her role than Eddie Redmayne is for his role. So, I mean, I'll check it out eventually. I'm just not. It's not really drawing me because, well, first of all, it's at a theater that's like 10 miles away and the parking is like terrible, and it's like $10 for a matinee ticket. And it's just like, I got a lot of other movies to see. Most likely I'll check out the Danish Girl when it hits iTunes or something. That way I don't have to leave my house. But yeah, interesting list. If I didn't, like I said, out of the ones I have seen, Kate Winslet's been my pick. She's amazing as Steve Jobs. Rich McAdams, get out of there. She was great in Spotlight, but she's not like awards-worthy in Spotlight. And then Rooney Mara was fine in Carol. Like, she did a very good job in her performance. Like I said, it came all the way down to the emotional core for me, but whatever. But anyways, guys, that is the Screen Actor Guild awards. Those are the major ones. Those are the ones we look out for in the Oscars. So there is that. So that is the news for this week's episode. Guys, comment in the place above my face and let me see. I'm just stuttering. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Excuse me. Comment in the place above my face and let me know what are some of your favorite news stories this week, and what do you think about the SAG Awards? Do you think Leo will finally get it this year? I think he will. And what do you think about the whole Idris Elba winning but not being nominated for an Oscar? It's weird. It's fucking weird. Okay. All right, so let's get into the trailers. There were 6 that dropped this week. I'm going to give you guys a good old fucking hint right now. There was only one good one. Well, maybe 2. But that's just because I'm biased. All right, speaking of being biased, Angry Birds dropped their first official trailer. Now, I reported on this podcast a while ago that it was like a teaser trailer. It was just something to kind of like show us that it was coming. Why? Yeah, so the first full trailer came out, and before I begin into my review of the trailer, look, I'm not even joking. I did not just download all these to show you guys and show you up or something. If you're watching on YouTube right now, look, I have a whole folder dedicated to Angry Birds, and as you can see, there's 9 of them right there. You flip it to the second one, there's 10. Besides one of them, I literally have downloaded all of the Angry Birds apps because I am a huge fan of the app. I am. I'm sure if you logged in my hours that I've put in, I've probably put in about 200 to 300 hours. I'm not even joking. Like, I have put in so much time into those games. I just love it. Yes, it's the same thing over and over again. You fling a fucking bird into a bunch of pigs and shit, and yeah, I get it. It's the same stuff over and over again, but I love it. I just do. So I am curious about the Angry Birds movie. I'm curious. Am I like excited to see it? No, but I'm curious about it because this trailer, it was okay. It had like some flourishes of comedy that didn't really strike well for me, but I was like, maybe they're just showing these jokes to kind of get you like hooked, and then when you see the movie, it'll be actually like super funny. I love the voice casting. I love Josh Gad as the yellow bird. I love Danny McBride as the bomb bird. Jason Sudeikis as the red bird. It's great casting. What I'm really fascinated about this movie though is the animation looks really gorgeous. Like, it's actually like really palpable with color, and it pops out, and it's so luscious and inviting. I don't know. The animation is like the best part about the trailer. But at the end of the trailer, there's a pee gag, and I was like, wait a minute. Am I watching Angry Birds, a kid's movie right now, or am I watching Vacation? Like, what the fuck am I watching? I kind of grinned a little bit, but I was like, this is weird to be in a kid's movie. But overall, I'm curious about it. And the trailer heightens my curiosity just a little bit, but I'm not like eager to see it, even as a huge Angry Birds fan myself. You saw the proof of my phone for all you watching on video right now. So yeah, I'm fascinated about the animation and maybe the comedy will work. I just can't believe they made an Angry Birds movie out of a fucking app. It's crazy. But yeah, so that's the first trailer of the week. So I'm curious about that one. I'll get to my favorite one last. So let's get through the 4 feet of shit right now because, well, one of them is okay, I guess. I don't know. It was a weird week for trailers. The next one I want to talk about is the first official trailer for The Secret Life of Pets. Now, I feel like I've been watching this goddamn thing for, I don't know, like 7 months now. They dropped their first teaser when Minions came out last July. So all it has been doing for the past like 7 months is teaser, teaser, teaser. And it was like the same joke over and over again, seeing the pets inside their homes and stuff. And I will admit, I grinned a little bit. I laughed, especially at the last part when it's like the fucking, high status dog, he's very proper and stuff. And like he plays, what is it? System of a Down or something like that. I forgot, but that was fun. But the first official trailer, so we got actually kind of see the plot of it. And the plot is, there's this dog voiced by Louis C.K., which I think is a genius pick on their part. And, his owner brings in a new dog and they get lost and they got to find their way back home. It's not like the most intriguing plot ever, but it looks like you can have some humor to it that will keep you entertained, I guess. There is shit. Is it a rabbit? I think it's a rabbit, and it's voiced by Kevin Hart. I don't know if it's because I'm so used to Kevin Hart by now, but every time when that rabbit spoke in the trailer, I was like, all I hear is Kevin Hart. I don't hear a rabbit. I don't hear this like little cute rabbit that has this like, really squeaky voice. I hear Kevin Hart, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's everywhere nowadays, but whatever. But anyways, it looks like a fun movie, I guess, but like it just doesn't. I don't know. I think it's just because I've seen like most of the good jokes in the teaser trailers so many times. I'm kind of just sick and tired of it. I just want to see the movie already, I guess. It might just be that. But yeah, it looks cool, I guess. I'm really curious about it. Like I really want to see it because it is done by the guys that did Despicable Me and stuff. And, I like those movies for what they are. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I'm not like, super ecstatic about it or anything. But yeah, looks fun. And Louis C.K. is a dog. Works for me. So the next one is a teaser, and this is from DreamWorks, and this is Trolls. Okay, you know how in teaser trailers they have like a sense of tone or like something to kind of like capture the mood and magic of the movie. It's just it's there to heighten your interest. This doesn't do that. All it is a bunch of fucking trolls. Those like fat little deformed babies with like the long like soft hair. You remember that as a kid? I remember it because I grew up in the 90s. They're making a movie about it. And all it is a bunch of fucking trolls dancing on the logo of the movie, which is the title of the movie, to watch me whip, watch me nay-nay, fuck my life, stomp on my balls. That's not the real title of the song, but I wish it was. I'm sick and tired of hearing that song. It just, like, with that song and with them dancing on the fucking title, it just gave off that Smurf vibe, and I almost wanted to, like, punch the wall as I was watching it. So it's only a minute long. And there hasn't been a full trailer out yet, but this teaser makes me not want to watch that trailer. So congratulations, DreamWorks. No. Just no. So that happened throughout the week. The next one is 9 Lives, and this is also like a minute and a half. Kevin Spacey voices a cat. Mr. Crappy Pants. I'm just kidding. That's not his name. It's like Mr. Snippy Pants, Mr. Poopy Pants. I forgot what the fucking name was. Anyways, it's Mr. Something Pants. And plays a talking cat that used to be a billionaire, I think, and his soul got transferred into, I don't even fucking know. It reminded me of like a Mad TV sketch that was like brought up in the writer's room, and then like they almost used it, but then they pulled it off the air like really fast because they realized how dumb it looked. Listen, I like Kevin Spacey a lot. House of Cards is one of my favorite shows running right now. But my word, what are we doing, folks? What are we fucking doing with our lives? This is just, No, just no. It looks like a rejected Mad TV sketch, and I actually liked Mad TV. So, 9 Lives, that happened as well. Okay. So we have 2 more trailers to talk about. Let's talk about this one before I get to the good one. You know, when I was a little youngster in 2002, I was 12 years old, so I was like on that verge of puberty. And so I did everything in my power to, you know, try to find nude women on the internet and stuff. And, you know, I went to my local video store and I saw this movie called Cabin Fever. And I was like, oh man, I like me some slasher gory films. Let's, I really want to watch this. So I think I had my mom get it for me or something because, you know, it was rated R and I was like 13 or 12 or whatever at the time. So she got it for me and I watched it. And to this day, I can't explain it, but I like Cabin Fever a lot. It kind of reminds me of like that just really simple isolation horror movie from the 70s. I don't know. It's just got this really old school feel to it. I like it a lot. Like Cabin Fever and Hostel 2 are my favorite Eli Roth movies, and that's pretty much where it stops. I haven't seen his new ones yet, Knock Knock or The Green Inferno. But so anyways, Cabin Fever. I really liked it. It was gory. It was sexy. It was disgusting. It was vile. It was just a fun time, and that was the movie that kind of launched Eli Roth's career. So why am I bringing this up? They are literally remaking this movie plot for plot in the movie called Cabin Fever. And it's supposed to come out this year, and it's produced by Eli Roth. My question is why? Now, I can understand rebooting like a Friday the 13th or Halloween because they were very popular franchises and people love those serial killers, myself included. Cabin Fever is one of those movies where like it's fine, it's entertaining, it's gory, it's disgusting, I love it, but why do we need to remake it? And why does Eli Roth have to be behind it? Why does he have to fucking produce it? I don't understand. Like, what is your goal for this? Like, are you trying to bring in a new audience for it? Like, it didn't even have that big of an audience to begin with. It was kind of like one of those cult classic type of deals. So, what is the point of remaking this movie plot for plot after 14 years? I know it's crazy that it's been 14 years, but the thing is, why this movie? I don't understand. Like, we make another horror movie, but why Cabin Fever? It was a cult classic for a reason. Let it be. It already had 2 shitty sequels afterwards. Why do you have to remake it? Just leave it alone. It just, I don't know. I don't get it. And plus, the trailer's awful. Like, the first Cabin Fever, is the acting strong? No, it's not. Like, it's very, very horror movie-esque. It's very standard teenage or, you know, horny teenager dialogue and stuff. You know, it's fine with me. It works. And plus, this guy, Sean from Boy Meets World, Ryder Strong. That was my first movie I saw with him outside of Boy Meets World, which is one of my favorite shows. Anyways, I don't understand remaking it, and why releasing it. Are they releasing in theaters? I couldn't really get the vibe from that. It looked like it was going straight to video, but what's the point? Who's asking for this? Anyways, I like the first Cabin Fever for what it is. Why remake it? The trailer was awful. It didn't add anything new. It was literally plot by plot. It was the same fucking thing. Pointless. That is the word for this trailer. Fucking pointless. So, with that being said, the last and final trailer, my favorite trailer of the week, thank fucking God, is Kubo and the Two Strings. Now, this is from Leica, the company that has brought us Coraline, Paranorman, The Box Trolls, and now this is their 4th movie. I have seen every single one of their movie in theaters. I'm a huge Leica fan. I still remember to this very day. Who was I with? I took some girl to see it when I was a senior in high school, Coraline. And We both really liked it. I really like the animation. I love stop motion. Stop motion is one of my favorite animated genres, and it's really hard to do. Like, you have to give them huge props for creating something so painstakingly difficult. Like, it just astounds you that they even get made because they take so long to do. But Coraline was really good. It was really creepy. It had that cool Beetlejuice vibe where it's like, is this a kid's movie? It's more like a teenage movie, or it could be an adult movie. It worked. It was super creepy, but it was still kind of family friendly, which was odd. Then we had Paranorman, and I remember me and one of my friends in Dallas, Patrick. He's in animation. Well, I mean, he graduated in animation in school. We went to the same school. But me and him have always been huge fans of Leica, and we really like Paranorman. And then we also saw the Box Trolls together, and we're like, dude, the Box Trolls was really good. Like, it just astounds me that they're so creative and so inventive and so detail oriented. Like, when you watch those movies and you watch the behind the scene features, it's just incredible what they do in terms of production design, art direction, and just creating these little humans out of these little models. It's outstanding. Now, the new one, Kubo and the Two Strings, from what I could gather, it's like this person named Kubo gets mystical powers from a guitar with two strings. I mean, that's like, it didn't really explain much, which is great. I'm glad it was just like a small little teaser to kind of introduce us to it. But that's kind of what I could gather. Now, this one looks even better than all three of those previous ones. There's a scene where they're in the fucking ocean. How did they do that? Like, if everything is built on a set and they're all models and stuff, how they make that water move? Like, is it like they set the wave up and like there's the ripples or whatever? And like, I don't know. Because when you do stop motion, like, for instance, if I'm a character in a scene, you would take a frame. So you would take a picture and then, like, you know, what if I was raising my hand? Raise my hand a little bit, take a picture, raise it a little bit, and take a picture, etc. That way, when you put it in the system, it's one fluid motion of the character waving his hand. And that's what it does, because film is 24 frames a second. And so literally when you do stop motion, you have to do every second. Versus like when you're shooting on a camera, like a film camera with live people, you film for a second and that person's moving, you put it in the system and he's moving fluently, but to the naked eye, it looks like it's just one frame, but it's actually 24 separate frames comprising of that 1 second. So with stop motion, you were literally doing every single second. So when they're making these hour-and-a-half movies, hour and 45-minute movies, it's like, holy shit, that took forever. So Kubo and the Two Strings, it looks cool. And to be honest, I don't know what it's about. But guess what? I'm such a fan of Leica and what they've done with their movies. I'm totally on board for this. I love Coraline. I love Paranorman. I love the Box Trolls. I'm so excited for Kubo and the Two Strings. So I think that was, I believe it was August. So yeah. So that is it for the trailers, guys. What was your favorite trailer of the week and what was your least favorite? Comment in the place where I open my face and let me know. All right. The appetizers are out of the way. Those endless apps are out of the way, and we step up to the plate and we go, we want some fucking entrees. And that's what we're doing here, folks. Let's get to the fucking meat of this podcast. And that would be my review of The Finest Hours. Now, I saw this movie yesterday, and before I begin my review, I have to apologize because I told you guys I would review Kung Fu Panda 3. I was supposed to see it today. I just didn't have the motivation, guys. And plus, you know, I have to pay for most of these movies, and it costs money, and, you know, we all got bills to pay and shit, and I got to make choices, and I was like, let me choose The Finest Hours for this very reason. Because out of the movies that were coming out this week, the majority of the people love Kung Fu Panda 3. So I don't think I would be really adding anything different to the review spectrum. 50 Shades of Black came out. I am not seeing that. I saw Haunted House 2 in theaters. That was the last time I see a current Marlon Wayans movie, and I saw that one for free, and I wanted my money back. And then Jane Got a Gun came out, and it's coming out in like 500 theaters. And with all the production problems and stuff, I really don't have any fascination with it. And like, I like Westerns quite a lot, especially with the resurgence of them. This one just didn't catch my eye. So the only one I was like, even worth talking about is The Finest Hours, because it could cause some division with people, and I think bringing my perspective on it, I don't know, maybe will change yours, or maybe you can tell me why you hated it, why you liked it, or whatever. So, so here's my review of The Finest Hours. Now, I don't know much about the military or people that serve in general, but hats off to those people that do that. It's incredible how big your bravery is and stuff. And I just I just can't even imagine like going through those environments and those situations and stuff, and protecting your country and stuff. So I thank you all that serve in the military and stuff. So I don't really know much about the Coast Guard, and I didn't know much about this rescue mission. Now, The Finest Hours is based on a U.S. Coast Guard rescue mission in the 50s off of the coast of Massachusetts. And apparently it was like a small ass boat with like 4 people from the Coast Guard, and they went to go save like 30 or 32 people, and they all crammed them in this little boat, and they had to like go back to their hometown and stuff. So that's kind of like all the basic knowledge I have had of this story. So I do apologize if I get facts wrong or stuff. I haven't read up on this story. I'm just judging on the movie. But in terms of the story, that is the basic idea of it, is that this small little rescue mission crew from the 50s in the Coast Guard went to go rescue this sinking oil tanker that had like 30 people stranded on it, and they saved them all and made it back. So what did I think of the movie? Let's get real and break this down, folks. Let me start off my review with saying this. I liked some aspects of it, like a lot. Like there's some aspects of it I was like, holy shit, that was really effective. I appreciate that. And then there were some aspects where I was like, no. So I have to be really careful in what I say, because this is based off real life people. And I'm not, let me preface this by saying I'm not making fun of these people, but just the way they're portrayed in the movie, some of them kind of irked me a little bit. So what am I talking about? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the directing and the writing. Now, for the way this movie is written, let's talk about the stuff I liked, which are the rescue scenes, the shipwreck scenes, Chris Pine going out in the boat with Ben Foster out to go save these people. All these are filmed and acted and just put together in such a way to where I felt like I was there. I felt like I was on this boat with these guys going through this like cold, harsh experience. And some of the stuff that was filmed, like on the waves and stuff, like water movies are hard to do. They just are, because you have to deal with fucking water. Now, listen, are they filming out in the ocean? Some movies do that, like Waterworld, and fail. But then some movies will, build like a humongous water set and then green screen the rest around them. This looked really good in terms of just the way it was filmed, the way it was put together with the special effects and stuff. The disaster sequences they were haunting. They were super large in scale, and you felt like these people were just so tiny. And the rescue mission in general was really well handled. I really liked that, and it was a really good survival tale. So let's talk about things I didn't like with the writing and the directing. It's the damn romance. I gotta say it straight up. I just, without spoiling anything, so the movie starts out with Chris Pine like going on this date with this woman he's been talking on the phone with. The woman played by Holiday Granger, and she plays the love interest to Chris Pine's character. And this is based off of a real life couple. So I get that. And then throughout the movie, her character seemed frustrating. She seemed aggravating. She seemed a little selfish. And I know that's really weird for me to say. She felt a little whiny sometimes. And it's like, I realize I sound really terrible right now, but the way her character came off at the very beginning, like she was getting upset over stupid shit with Chris Pine, and she pretty much forced Chris Pine to, get married and stuff. And and also I didn't see the emotional connection between those two actors. They're good looking people. Chris Pine's a good looking dude. Holiday Granger is a very good looking woman who fit very well in the 1950s time. but their chemistry it didn't work. It didn't feel like Chris Pine wanted to be in that relationship, like his character. It felt like she wanted it more than him, which made me turn off of that relationship even more than I already had. And I didn't like the way her character was portrayed. Like I said, she seemed aggravating at sometimes and really frustrating. Like she would go to the Coast Guard's office and she'd be like, bring him home and stuff. And like, people are just like, you should have known this. You're about to marry a fucking guy in the Coast Guard. This is what they do. They risk their lives and stuff. And it's like, go sit down. Like, it's okay. Like, so her character was a little frustrating, and I didn't buy into the romance whatsoever. I felt like it was extremely forced and just so cheesy and weird. I didn't care for it. So that would be my cons with the writing and directing. Another thing with the directing, I forgot to add, is that the production design and the art direction and the costumes look so good for this time era, because this is set in the 50s, and I think the director really captured that time. It kind of reminded me a lot of like what Todd Haynes did with Carol, and kind of adapting that time frame and stuff. It was just really well handled. I love the way everything looked and stuff. I felt like I was watching the movie in the 50s, and so I thought that was really well done. Acting wise, this is a strange one, because a lot of people are really good, and some people I feel like are wasted, and then some people I'm just so sick and tired that they're not like bigger yet. Okay, so let's just start with the positives of the acting. Now, I've always liked Chris Pine. I always have, and I think he's a really good actor, and I like him in the Star Trek films, and he was really good in movies like Unstoppable. I didn't see the movie This Means War because I heard that was shit. So I look forward to anything he does. Now, at first, I didn't really care for his character. This is what's weird about it. When he was with Holliday Granger, I did not care for his character at all. I was like, dude, are you gonna like man up or something? Like it seemed like he was just bending over and taking up the pooper with this woman, and he wasn't thinking for himself. And I was like, come on, man. But once he was out in the water, and once he was going on this rescue mission, that was the best acting I've seen from Chris Pine so far. I felt the bravery within his character. I felt the courage. I felt the pain. I felt the anger. I felt the sadness. I felt the weakness. Because the one thing I like about this movie and the way it portrays like hypothermia is that at the beginning of the rescue mission, Chris Pine's ready to go. He's very like upbeat and stuff. And towards the end, his nose is like super red and he's getting weak. He's getting tired. And you could feel that in his acting, with his facial expressions, with his emotions. I love that. So he does a fantastic job. Casey Affleck also does a good job. Is this guy that's on the ship and he's trying to calm everyone down. He's thinking of solutions on how to stall the ship from sinking until the rescue boat gets there. I've said this from Gone Baby Gone, and it just still amazes me that he has not blown up yet. Listen, I like Ben Affleck a lot. I think he's a very charismatic actor. I think he's a very good actor, but he's an even better director. Casey Affleck is the better actor out of the two in that family, and it just makes me so mad that he hasn't blown up yet, because he deserves it. He's a really talented actor. And I think between this, 999, and his Manchester by the Sea, which is getting extreme buzz from Sundance, I hope this is the year that people will finally go, holy shit, Ben Affleck's not the only Affleck. So Casey Affleck does a really good job. I really liked his character. And everyone on the ship does a good job too. It was a nice little supporting cast. And the guy that plays the cook, he was cool, but no spoilers here, but he was a good character. I felt for him. I felt for him on many levels. Let's get into the negatives of the acting. We'll start with Holliday Granger. I don't think Holliday Granger did a bad job. I just didn't like her character and just the way she was portrayed. That's not her fault, though, and I'll let that pass. Ben Foster. I felt like he was a little wasted. Because Ben Foster, like Casey Affleck, is one of those actors to where I am always rooting for. I am one of the biggest Ben Foster fans ever. He didn't really have much to do in this. He was there. He had his lines, I guess, but overall, they could have gotten anyone else to play that role. One of the best stories I have, and Drew McGregory, one of my friends from elementary school and high school, I hope he remembers this because I remember it quite well. Me and him, and I think his brother Corey, I think it was all three of us or something. But either way, their mom got us, she went with us when we went to go see Hostage back in 2005. We were 15 at the time. We couldn't go in and see R-rated movies. So I liked Hostage. I still like it to this day. It's really cool Bruce Willis type of thriller and stuff. But there's one actor in it that had long black hair, and he was really creepy, disturbing and stuff. And I was like, who in the fuck is this guy? He is so good. Then I look him up. He's Ben fucking Foster. So from that point on, since 2005, I've been the biggest Ben Foster fan. And I think he's one of those actors like Casey Affleck that just hasn't blown up yet. And I think he should, because he's super talented. And it just disturbs me that, talented people like that don't get more opportunities and stuff. And it's whatever. I just felt like his character was a little wasted, even though he was fine in the movie. And then his performance was not bad at all, actually. But his accent was one of the worst things I have heard in quite some time coming from Eric Bana. Now, Eric Bana is Australian, I believe. So he's got a really heavy accent. If you guys have seen Funny People, Judd Apatow basically let him talk in his normal voice. And it's quite amazing because he sounds really cool with his accent. These guys are living in Massachusetts, so like, hey, Boston accents, fucking car. Like, kind of like, I mean, I'm not from the Northeast or anything, but people kind of talk like that. It's Eric Bana was like trying this weird like Boston accent, but like it was so painfully obvious that you could like hear his Australian like come out, and I was like, oh no, this is bad. Like as soon as he started talking, I was like, that's all I'm thinking about right now. So Eric Bana's accent is the worst thing ever, and they try to hide it, and it didn't work. Even though his performance was fine, it just didn't work. But the biggest performances, I would say, in this movie are Chris Pine, especially when he's on that rescue mission. You can see his face and stuff, and towards the end, I loved those little nuanced moments. He didn't even have to act with big monologues or anything, or like be very rambunctious. It was just very subtle and calm, and I love that about his character because, like I said, you could feel the fear, the confidence, the courage, the bravery, the pain, the sadness. Everything was going along through him, and it was great. I loved it. And Casey Affleck as well. And then the cons were Eric Bana, Holiday Granger, and Ben Foster. Cinematography-wise, like I said, I love the production design. I love the art direction. It was very whimsical and glowy. It felt like a really old-school Hollywood picture and stuff, and I really appreciate that. And cinematography was really well done. It was very clean. And I loved all the ship sequences and stuff. Like I said, there's one shot where the oil tanker at the very beginning breaks in half, and Casey Affleck is looking out at the second half that's like rolling in the ocean, and it's about to sink. It was one of the more haunting images I've seen in a while, and like people were just like trying to climb up, and like they get sucked in by the water, and it was so disturbing. I was like, that was an effective shot. I really like that. So there's shots like that all over the place, and it's a really well shot movie that really kind of captured the glow of the 50s and stuff. And then when they're out in the water, it's super dangerous and dark and gritty, and I like that. I'm glad that Disney kind of went there in certain places. Editing wise, the movie's about 2 hours, and I gotta tell you, since I didn't care for the romance, the beginning was a bit rough for me. I was like, okay, I get it. Can we get to like, them going to their Coast Guard jobs and stuff? I want to see them in their environments and stuff. So the beginning was a little slow for me, but once Chris Pine and his fellow friends of the movie got to the Coast Guard's office and everything started going downhill from there, I was totally on board. I was locked in. I love the disaster sequences. I love the shipwreck scene. I love the rescue mission. I love all that out in the water. And then, like, in the middle of the movie, they would cut back to Holiday Granger. I'm like, no, what are you fucking doing? Like, stop, get her out of here. So I hate the fact that, like, during this haunting rescue mission, they would intercut it with her back on land and stuff. I'm just like, why? Just fucking get out of here. So besides that, I think it was a well-paced movie, especially when it's out in the water. But when it's dealing with the relationship, when it's cutting back to her, I was just not interested, and it just kind of slowed it down for me. Special effects wise, like I said, it had some really good special effects. Kind of reminded me of like a Perfect Storm, like a Titanic or something. I love the way the ships looked and just the way the water looked. It looked like they were actually on the ocean and stuff, and I was really impressed. It was really well done special effects. So with that being said, guys, here's my overall thoughts. Listen, I think it's bad to say because this is based on a real life story, but I think what these guys did was so courageous and so brave, and I thought they captured those scenes really well when it came to the rescue mission and the shipwreck scenes and all the ocean scenes. But when it came down to the relationship, and Holiday Granger didn't care for her character, didn't care for that part of the story, take the romance out and stuff. And then some of the actors like Eric Bana's accent, gross, and then Ben Foster was kind of wasted. With those glaring mistakes and problems I had with it, I have to knock it down a little bit. But I couldn't give it a C+ because I thought the shipwreck scenes and I thought the ocean scenes were really well done, very emotional, hit it in its core. It was entertaining. It was all that. So I couldn't give it anywhere in the C range. So with those problems I had with it, but with the good parts I had with it, I kind of leveraged it out to a B-. So I'm going to give The Finest Hours a B-. So with that being said, guys, what was the movie that you saw this weekend? Was it The Finest Hours? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think of The Finest Hours? Comment in the place where I'll put my face and let me know. Did you see 50 Shades of Black or Kung Fu Panda 3? Let me know down below as well. So that's my review of The Finest Hours. I still would recommend you seeing it. I didn't see it in IMAX or 3D or both. I saw it in regular 2D and it was just fine. So that's just my preference. So let's get into the box office results for the weekend. It is dessert time here at the podcast. Let's wrap this up. Okay. So, oh God, that's so brutal. Okay. So there were 4 movies that came out this weekend. Jane Got a Gun, 50 Shades of Black, The Finest Hours, and Kung Fu Panda 3. And I can tell you right now, only 2 of them made it into the top 5. Let's start off by saying that Jane Got a Gun came in 17th place with $803,000. It only came out in 1,200 theaters, but that's fucking rough. You know what's even more rough is the movie that beat it in 16th place. Norm of the North. That shitty-ass looking animated movie with Rob Schneider voicing a polar bear beat Jane Got a Gun this weekend. Yeah, no one had any interest in Jane Got a Gun. Number 9 was actually 50 Shades of Black with 6.1 million. Dude, those movies are made for like a fucking Snickers bar and a ham sandwich they found in the subway, so probably made its money back. If not, it'll be very damn close to it. So that came in 9th place. So let's get into the top 5. Number 5 is Ride Along 2 with 8.3 million. Its budget is 40 million domestically, which is the US and Canada is 70 million, and worldwide it's made 88. So it made its money back. It's already made 8 million profit. Fuck you. That's all I gotta say. Number 4, The Finest Hours with 10.3 million. No budget is listed, but worldwide it made 11 million. I have a feeling this movie's gonna bomb. I just do. With 10 million opening, that's not good. I would recommend it. It's not gonna be anywhere in my top 10 list for the year or whatever, but it was enjoyable. I like parts of it. It's just some parts outweigh the others. Number 3, Star Wars The Force Awakens with 10.7 million, so barely beat The Finest Hours. Right now, we're on Star Wars watch right now. Domestically, it's made 895 million, so it's almost going to reach 900 million domestically stateside. That's so crazy. And worldwide, it's at $1.983 billion dollars, and its budget is 200 million. So you guys already know that it made money. Just to give you guys a little heads up, the worldwide numbers right now, Avatar still sits at 2.7, Titanic sits at 2.1, and then Star Wars is at 1.983. I don't even know if Star Wars can beat Titanic now. It's slowing down quite a lot, and I don't know how long Star Wars will last in theaters. Maybe until I'm going to assume until March when Batman v Superman comes out, and then that's probably when it'll be kicked out. But until then, if it only makes like $10 million roughly every week until then, that's only about another, like 80 to 90 million, and that's still going to be like 20, 30 million shy of Titanic. So I don't know. Maybe it'll get a resurgence or whatever, but right now that's where it stands. Titanic still has $200 million on Star Wars. So that's crazy. And number 2 is The Revenant. Yes, with 12.4 million. It's getting up there. Its production budget is 135. It needs to make about 270 to break even. 270, 275 with marketing and advertisement. Right now, domestically, it's got 138, which is really good. I didn't even think it'd be that high for domestic. But worldwide, 247. So even if it doesn't make 270, 275 and get a little profit, dude, 247 is pretty damn good for considering that movie and the problems it had and all the reshoots it had and stuff. Because to this day, me and Jackson, we agreed that like this movie wouldn't even make its money back, period. And it's not going to even break 100 million because there's just so many problems about it. And it's just one of those niche movies that only filmmakers were like. Because we were proven wrong. I guess people like Leonardo DiCaprio a lot, which is great. I'm still glad he's a box office draw. So congratulations, Revenant. Get on up there. Let's get some profit. And number 1, you guys already guessed it was animated. So duh. Kung Fu Panda 3 with 41 million. It's not bad. No budget is listed and no worldwide numbers are listed. So it just made 41 flat out for domestic. And let's see. Okay. And just to give you guys a kind of like a understanding of the other 2 that opened, Kung Fu Panda 1 opened at 60 million, which is kind of good for kind of an unknown brand. And then Kung Fu Panda 2 opened up to 47, and Kung Fu Panda 3, 41. So close, but it still is dropping. And the thing is, I think it waited too long, to be honest with you, because Kung Fu Panda 1 came out in 2008. Kung Fu Panda 2 came out in 2011, which was 3 years later. Between number 2 and number 3, it's been 5 years. So I think that had something to do with it, but, it's not bad. So, yeah, that is the box office numbers, guys. Oh, shit. Oh, I clicked out the window, but I needed to tell you guys this. I still would recommend you guys seeing The Boy from last week. It's one of those weird, creepy horror movies that thrillers that I think you would really enjoy. So that's it, guys. Episode 115 is in the bag. We talked about some movie news, trailers, the finest hours, and the box office results for the weekend. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or SoundCloud, you can do just that. Click that follow button. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube page, you can do just that. If you're watching on YouTube and you want an audio-only version of this podcast, link will be in the description below for that. And if you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or SoundCloud, and you want a video version to see me flail around and stuff, the link will be in the description for that. My Twitter is @RealChaseLee. You can tweet at me, follow me, all that jazz. All that is in the link in the description below. And the intro and outro music is done by my friends band Fervent Roze. Check them out. They are a band in Dallas that I absolutely like. So do that. So with that being said, guys, that is it for this week's episode. Next week is episode 116. I can tell you guys what the next 2 weeks are going to be. Next week, I'm going to do my review of Hail Caesar and my review of the Super Bowl trailers. I'm going to record the show right after the Super Bowl ends. It'll be kind of like a late night podcast. That's the only way to do it if I want to review the Super Bowl trailer. So that is next week is Hail Caesar and Super Bowl. And then the week following, I will have my review of Deadpool and Zoolander 2. And then after that, I don't know. So those are the next 2 weeks. But I can tell you for the Oscars, join me for the Oscars. I will have a live show throughout the whole 3.5 hour long podcast with Terrence Page. I will do it just like the Golden Globes. I'll just kind of give you my commentary and stuff. It'll be a fun time. Come join me. February 29th or 28th or something like that for Oscar night. It should be fun. So I will see you guys next week for another episode of Real Me and Colin, a movie podcast. I'm Chase Lee. Have a good day, good night, whenever the hell you're listening to this. And hey, listen, if you listen to this entire podcast and you weren't a movie fan, well, hopefully I convinced you to be one. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of this craptastic show. You guys are awesome. I love you all. Peace out, everyone. Go see some movies. Play the outro music. See you guys later.